Before we get into automation with Sauce, I want to take a couple minutes to show you the manual testing features of Sauce Labs. It's very easy to do. You simply log into Sauce Labs, click on the Live Testing tab, select any platform, whether desktop, web, or mobile app. Once the session starts up, you interact with it manually. As you work, video is captured of the session. You can take screenshots of the session and invite others to watch you work. So for instance, if you're reproducing a particular bug and a developer from a different geographic location wants to see you work, they can log in and watch your session as well. Finally, after you stop the session, anybody can come back and play the video after the fact when you're done. So let's go have a look. I've logged in and I'm on the dashboard. Over here on the Live Tests tab, we can see the history of previous live tests. It tells us which operating system and which browser version was used and how long the session lasted. If you click on the link, that's where you can access the recorded video and screenshots. Since I'm allowed to create 2 concurrent sessions with my free account, I've got 3 browser windows open, because once you start a session, it's not easy to return back here to the dashboard and start a second session. I use separate browser windows to do that. So I'm going to use this window as my monitor window, and I'll open up a new instance. As you can see, I've got 2 windows open now. I'll click on the Live Testing tab, and here you can select either desktop or a mobile device, and you can test either a web browser or a mobile app. I'm going to stick with desktop for now, and the first thing you usually do is type in the URL of the website you'd like to test. And if you don't have any kind of a VPN tunnel set up using Sauce Connect, this can only be public-facing URLs that are not behind a firewall. In a video later in the course, I'll show you how to use Sauce Connect to set up a VPN tunnel to test websites behind your firewall. For now, I've typed in Amazon.com. I'll scroll down here to the bottom, and you can see we've got a variety of browsers we can select with beta or dev versions and several versions of that browser's history. If I was to select Safari, I can select the resolution for my session, and further down the page, I'm able to select my OS version. Since I've selected Safari, it's only going to show me Mac. However, if I jump up here and select Chrome and scroll back down, now I can see various versions of Mac OS and Windows. Finally, this is where you would select one of your tunnels if you did have one running using Sauce Connect. And notice before I start, I have an option to check this checkbox to save this configuration in the Saved tab. So that makes it easy to come back and restart a session at this URL with this browser version, this resolution, and this operating system. Once you have your URL and your various session parameters selected, click on Start Session, and you can see it shows you which operating system and browser it chose. And after a few seconds of setup, we're now seeing a Chrome browser session on the Apple operating system. Interacting with the browser session is just like you would do on your normal computer. You can click in the field, type in text, use the cursor to click on buttons or links, and the browser behaves just like any normal session. Like I mentioned, you can click on this icon over here on the right to invite somebody to the session. You simply send them that URL, and when they connect, they'll be able to watch what you're doing in real time. If I go back to my dashboard page, you can see that we're using one of 2 concurrent sessions. And if I go to the dashboard page and click on the Live Tests tab, it shows that we have a session in progress with Mac 10.13 and Chrome 70. It says it's in progress, and it was started 2 minutes ago. If I bring up a second window and click on New Live Test, now I can select an entirely different browser and computer. Or I could click on Mobile Device, Virtual Device, use the same or a different URL, scroll down and select the manufacturer of the device, like Apple. We'll use 6th generation iPad, iOS 12, and again you could select a tunnel if you had one running, and now click on Start Session. And we wait a little bit longer for these mobile devices to spin up. It just takes longer to set these up for some reason. It shows you loading live video, and we've got ourselves a 6th generation iPad. And just like I did with the web browser, I can click in the text field there, type in some text from my computer, click on the search, and my iPad does the same thing that the web browser did. Up here in the hardware menu, you can click that and select rotate left, and the device will actually rotate on the screen. And you've also got other options like locking the device or clicking on the home button or invoking Siri and a variety of other options. So now back on my dashboard page, you can see I have 2 of 2 concurrent sessions running, and it shows how long each session has been running. So hopefully this gives you a sense for the fact that our Robot Framework automated tests can interact with a wide variety of platforms that we don't have in-house. And the best part is we don't have to maintain all of those configurations. To stop any session, you simply bring the window up and click on this stop button here. It asks you to confirm, click stop. And I'll do the same thing with my second window. Stop and confirm. Now back here on my dashboard page, it takes a few more seconds for these things to wind down and generate the final videos and whatnot. And once that process is finished, they will show complete. And now we can click on this link to view information about the session, including on this link here, we can watch the video and see the manual test session as it occurred. It's got a little scroll bar down here, so you can click around and find places of interest. Notice here's where I'm typing in the search term and clicking on search. So that's a video recording of my manual test. Now that I've stopped my sessions, it says 0 of 2 concurrent sessions, so it's always possible to see how many resources you have available to you. So that is Sauce Labs manual testing in a nutshell.